Hey everyone, and welcome to Castle's Clarinet Fantasy. The holiday season is upon us, which just means a few things. Fresh cranberries ablazing on the stove, Santa Claus is coming to town, and Grandma's probably going to ask you if you're still single. Now, my family recently just found out that Ben and Jerry are not part of an awkward throuple I participate in, that they're just good old-fashioned binge eating. So I said to myself, Castle, it's time. It's time for you to get back on that dating horse and give her a good old whirl around the block. Now I know what you're all thinking. You play the clarinet. You're an instrumentalist. That must be a real D magnet. And it is. But the problem with it is that that's all people see me for nowadays. You know, they see me as that girl who can kind of play the clarinet a little bit. And I'm so much more than that. So I said, let's put myself out there. How am I going to do that? I got myself out on all the dating websites, Bundles, Timber, Grinder, Flubber, all of them, and I put the best 8x10 black and white glossy I could, and I just waited for the people to swipe in. And there was a problem, because I wasn't true to myself. Instead, I gave you a version of myself from 2003, fresh off a summer stock production of Dames at Sea. That headshot didn't say independent woman who kind of plays the clarinet and is a really good waitress. That headshot said, I just graduated college and a friend of mine took these in my backyard. It was time for me to get honest. If I wanted you to see me as somebody more than just a clarinetist, then I had to really put it all out there with full honesty and no more secrets. Because you're only as sick as your secrets, and I had the swine flu. So what I decided to do was take a picture that showed you who I was at first glance. And I thought, how do I do this? Well, then I said, why don't you just take all the pieces of you and put them in the picture with you? So who's ever on the other side of that Tindy can just say, oh, I know exactly what I'm getting. No secrets. So I figured I would add some props into the photo. First things first, my uppers. I want you to know that I'm usually heavily medicated, so I'm just gonna put those there so you know what you're gonna get, right? Just gotta get them in that bra, which leads me to another thing, the bra. I do want to keep some sense of illusion, so in my profile I wrote, one of us, meaning me and her, is flat as hell. Guess which one? So that'll be something that'll have to wait for the first date. Secondly, this, I want them to know what inspires me, what gives me life, what gives me purpose, and most of it can be found right here. And if you haven't heard Nell Carter rip Mean to Me a New A-Hole, then you really haven't lived. And then I want to grab this, which is just generic menstrual leaf, because whoever is my future suitor should know that chances are, for 1 week out of every month, I'm going to be real hungry, and I'm not going to be a very nice person, but it's who I am. And if you can't take me at my worst, then you don't get me at my mediocre. So stick that there, kind of get an idea of where we're at. And this, which really there should be no questions about. If you know the work, then you understand the book. And finally, I'm broke. So I want them to know that I'm broke, but I'm also a hustler, and I'm really working to make the coin. So I want you to know that I am a woman with goals and someone who takes opportunity by the horns, I think is the phrase. And then finally, just so they know that I'm a package deal, I get her in here. And then you want to just kind of look at the camera, but not like, oh, this is a staged photo. You want it to look candid, which I think I'm doing a nice job with. And just kind of look off. And maybe your friend just said something funny. Or maybe you want them to know you've got a secret. What is it? Maybe you already have a husband. Do you know that? I don't know if you know
you know, you just want to kind of let them know I've got a secret and you don't know it. Maybe you have 70 cats.
And then you just wait, you know, then you just sit by that phone and you wait till you have a match, and then you hope that when you find that match, you hope that that match reaches out, because chances are you won't. And if you don't reach out, what if you lose, you know? What if you lose out on the best love you could have ever known? And that's when we bring in the gift of song.